Hey, this is B from Kongs R Us, and today I'm going to be finishing up one of the final mods in my home arcade, taking my Arcade1Up Outrun and Ridge Racer and putting dual-linked PCs in them. So first off, thank you to the Buy Stuff guys for sending me this product for review. These guys have been in the lab putting together some amazing upgrades for your home arcade products that you have. They do some of the most amazing custom things like this transforming TV stand, but they've also built, racing cab kits. They've also put together back boxes for your pinball machines. They have so many different modding options here, and their latest thing they've done is a PC upgrade for their most popular mod kit, which is the Ridge Racer and Outrun Gaming Box mod kit. Now, originally this mod kit used an Android box, and you can play tons of different games. They even had networking options if you had two Ridge Racers or two Outruns or wanted to mod them together. And then this particular PC upgrade now allows you to play more modern titles. So let's take a look at the PC upgrade website. So the worst piece of feedback I ever have for the Buy Stuff guys is that their website can be a little confusing to navigate if you don't know what buttons to click and figure out the options available. So right now it's $0 because you haven't selected anything. It says right up front here you do need the original Ridge Racer or Outrun mod kit to get this working. So we're going to talk about that. If you're running completely from stock, there's a couple of parts that you need. But if you've already upgraded your previous cabinet and you want to get the PC upgrade, just scroll down to this section here where you're going to select your cabinet, Ridge Racer or Outrun, and they give you two options: a standard, which costs $299, and then the pro version, which costs $449. We'll talk about the PC specs in just a little bit, but that's what you're going to need to be able to get this running if you already have the upgraded mod kit. So if your Outrun or Ridge Racer is completely stock, you do need the encoder board for the wheel and the buttons, as well as the HDMI converter board for your monitor. So go over to this page here and you're going to select which of your Ridge Racer or Outrun kits you're going to need. The full kit is $250, but that includes the Android box as well. If you're not getting that, then what you really need is just the encoder board only, which is around $89, as well as the HDMI converter board, which runs for $24. There also are other options for HDMI converter boards. You can get them on Amazon as well. So you don't need it to necessarily get it from them, but these are the options. You need the updated encoder board, plus if you bought a previous kit from them, say in the early 2023 era, I have the original 1.1 board, so you do need the updated encoder board for it to work most appropriately, they mentioned. So there is an option to be able to update your encoder board as well if you want the latest and greatest. So just be wary that there's a couple different options. Read through the website. If you have questions, reach out to the Buy Stuff guys. They'd be more than happy to help out with you, but those are your options you need to be able to purchase and get this up and running. Lastly, there's some additional quality of life upgrades that you can do with this PC kit upgrade. So once you pick up your PC, the Pro or the original model, you can also get some mounting brackets for that to help mount it for $20. You can also trade in your old gaming box. So if you don't want to have the old gaming box lying around, you can trade it in for $50 store credits or get a USB key build. This is a really cool option that if you get this, you can plug it into the PC and then optionally boot into the old Android box menu. So if you had other favorites you liked in the old build, you can still have it with this USB key. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature. There's an auto power option where they give you this labeled control strip or power strip, and it's going to boot up using the Arcade1Up power. So once you hit that button, it's going to power up the screen, the PC all in one go. So that's a pretty cool option. And this is actually a new option that I have not seen too well. It's a top deck upgrade with some additional buttons, some USB ports, a place for your amp, and audio jack. So there are some PC games they say that utilize this top deck feature, but I'm going to see if I can get away without it, or maybe I'll just drill some extra buttons into my own panel because that's something that I do. Other things you can do as well, you can get your own amp kit. You can already get the cutouts. You can get some graphics. You can update your screen with IR infrared sensors in there if you want to use light guns as well. There's a lot of things you can do with your shooter guns. I would say I'm not the type of person that plays light guns and things in my big old multi-cade. I want my racing cab just to be racing, but if this is your only cabinet and you want to have all the things, definitely consider all these upgrades. I think it's a little bit too much to have all the things happening all at once. So my personal recommendation, keep your racing cab, but I love that they give you options. Now I want to talk about the actual PCs that you'll be getting here. So the PC standard version uses an HP Elite Desk 705 G4. So this is running an AMD Ryzen chip here, and it has an integrated Vega graphics card. So it surprised me when I saw this super slim form factor that I was going to be able to run all the games they had promised on here. But I looked at the specs on here, and people have said that this is a really good, decent PC. At its base value, it's about 120 bucks, but that's not where the value is. In terms of performance, you know, Laurentia says that this is actually a much better value than even a Raspberry Pi 5. So many people associate retro gaming with Raspberry Pis. This says here has about twice the performance of a Raspberry Pi 5. So that can tell you that without a dedicated graphics card, you can run a lot with this PC. So the Buy Stuff guys also offer a pro version of their PC upgrade. This is a more powerful Ryzen 5 chip with additional 2 terabytes of storage. So you get more storage, more powerful CPU, and you're gonna get about 49 additional games. Now this is a limited time offer because the Buy Stuff guys told me that it's gonna be harder and harder to source these PCs. You can see here from eBay, you can get the original of these PCs for about 200 bucks, but they've been going for higher and higher recently. So they may not be always able to offer this, but today I'm going to be going over the original 705 build for their Elite disc, and it's still going to be able to play a ton of different games. We'll go over the games list in just a second. Let's talk what you're getting with this upgraded PC kit. The original Android box list that you see here had a list of 210 fantastic games that went all the way up through N64, Dreamcast, and PSP was probably the highest emulator that was running on this original Android box. This is a great curated list of games here, but with the PC upgrade, are you gonna get more? Absolutely. So the PC list gives you 356 total games at the moment for the standard edition, and with the Pro edition, you're gonna get an additional 49 titles to play some higher level emulation, including PC games and PS3 titles on here too. So you can see this list here. It goes through GameCube, MAME, of course, for the retro titles as well, N64, Naomi, PS1, PS2, and then starting with the PS3 with these green highlighted ones, these are the Pro games that you're gonna see that aren't on the standard edition. Some PSP titles as well, Model 2, Model 3, Switch, Teknoparrot as well, which is fantastic to be able to play some of these titles. There's some Wii games through Triforce, and then Wii U as well. So you can see the Pro games. This is the list of the Pro games that are listed there. I'll leave links to the games list in the description so you can go through it. But now let's get into the installation of these PCs. Alright, now we're going to install the mini PC into our existing Ridge Racer. This is the Elite Desk mini PC right here. It also comes with a power cable as well as a USB-C extension cable for the encoder. Alright, we're going to take off the front control panel, and depending on how you modded your original Ridge Racer, this may look different than yours. So this is how mine looks on the back side. And simply all we're gonna do is reuse the HDMI cable that's going in from the Android box over here and the USB cable which is plugging into the original encoder. So these two cables are gonna go into our PC. If this cable doesn't reach from your encoder, that's why you're gonna use that extension cord. And that's pretty much it. If you have an audio cable that's plugged into here, you would undo that as well. I'm using audio for my HDMI per my current audio solutions. Now, as mentioned earlier, you definitely want to check your encoder board. This was my original USB controller encoder, which is the 1.1 version. They are now up to 1.5 if you take a look at this. And so you definitely want to be able to upgrade this to at least 1.3. So they have an upgrade option if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and change this out right now. Okay, we've turned our cabinet around to the back, and now we're gonna get a little bit creative with the solutions for power because the PC itself has its own dedicated power supply. And what we're going to need to do is plug that into a surge protector and then power that on through the encoder so the Arcade1Up switch can work. So the original 12-volt adapter, it's not gonna come out of the back of the cabinet. We actually have to plug it on the inside of the cabinet using something like this. This is what Buy Stuff supplies now, and it's a $20 option. It's a surge protector that has a master and some master controlled slots here. So your original 12-volt adapter that you used to power your original Android box is gonna go into this master slot. And then the PC power is going to plug into these green slots here. So if you can just remember that, the original power that you're using to power your existing mod is going to go into this white, and then the PC is going to go into this green. And then you have to just kind of dangle this power cable outside of your cabinet somehow and just plug it in. It's not the cleanest solution. I personally like to use inlet module switches, which I've have here linked in some of my tutorials on how to clean up the backside of an arcade with a PC mod in it. But this is a decent solution for folks. You just might need an extension cord once you kind of push this out the back of your cabinet. You might need to cut a hole for this as well. Okay, let's finish wiring everything up. Your stock 12-volt adapter is going to plug into the encoder, so make sure that goes into there. We're going to plug the PC power directly into the PC itself. So on the back side, you should see the PC power right over there. We're going to take our HDMI cable from the monitor and plug it into the HDMI cable right there. And then lastly, we have the USB extension that came from our encoder into one of these open USB slots on the back. And that's pretty much it in terms of installation. Again, you can clean this up a little bit cleaner. Let's go ahead and turn around and see if we can test this and see if it turned on. All right, so we've turned our cabinet around and now we're gonna hit the on button. I pretty much left the back off of the case right now just to make sure we test everything on. When I flip the on button, the marquee is lighting up, so that's good news. That should power up the monitor, and then the surge protector is going to turn on the PC. So the PC is automatically set to turn on when it detects power. So in the BIOS menu, there's a way for a PC to turn on if it detects power. So these special surge protectors are pretty much like you flip a switch and then it's going to turn on by itself. So there it is. You can see it, HP protected by HP Sure Start. So this is the intro video that they have for their custom big box build, and let's take a look at it for the first time together. If you have the USB encoder plugged in, it should automatically work and everything is synced up, ready to go. No configuration is necessary. This is a pre-configured drive, which is one of the biggest benefits of getting something from these guys, that they've spent the time pretty much curating every single game on this list to be able to make sure it works with their encoder, the wheel for either Ridge Racer or Outrun. Let's go. All right, going back a little bit on what I was saying, it's not quite as plug and play immediately right out of the box. You do need to do a handful of things, including calibrating the pedals, which you can do. They give you instructions on how to do this. I'll show you on the screen right now. Additionally, there are some other bugs and things that are still being updated from the PC build. Even though I got this about 3 weeks ago, they have already made updates. So they have a feature to be able to go into the menu, the settings section of the PC, and then click on update. So you do need to be connected to internet. So the easiest way to do that is plug it into an Ethernet cable directly into the PC. There is a way to do some Wi-Fi as well, but it's not quite as easy to set that up. So we're going to plug this into an Ethernet cable, do the update, and then we'll do some gameplay. All right, our system is finished updating, and I did want to go over just another couple of things before we do some gameplay. This is a PC, so I still recommend putting in a wireless keyboard and mouse if you can, just in case you need to get into troubleshooting for anything. The Buy Stuff guys are trying to make this as plug and play as possible where you don't need that, but I did see a way in the settings to be able to configure the menu toggle. This is what I was looking for. Since this is a PC, when you select this, this is going to be able to turn the config menu on, which essentially allows you to access your desktop normally like you would a PC. So once you select this, it's going to reboot, and then I'll show you how to access your desktop. Now you can see the Windows booted up like a normal Windows PC. BigBox is still going to load up first, and so you're going to use your keyboard to exit that out in just a second. Okay, to exit out of your desktop, you're going to be able to use your keyboard and press the X button. That's going to exit you out of BigBox and move you directly into a typical Windows PC. So you can right click on this PC. You can see the actual settings for your PC here. You have your AMD Ryzen Pro with the Radeon Vega graphics, 16 gigabytes of RAM. This is now a full-fledged PC for you to do with what you like, but don't try to mess around too much with the settings itself. Here you're going to go down to the Wi-Fi section and then connect it to your Wi-Fi as well. So that's how you'd be able to connect it to Wi-Fi. If you don't have an Ethernet cable, you want to get into config menu and update it that way. So that way it makes it a lot cleaner. Just a couple other things too you might want to check out in the folder structure for everything. You can see how things are put in the folder structure for data. This is where they have a lot of their games folders. This is their extra terabyte drive. So you can see all the ROMs for the different emulators that are listed there. You also have the main Launchbox build in the C drive here. This is where Launchbox is being loaded from. So again, I don't recommend messing with any of these settings, but I do like to let people know what hardware you're getting and how to access certain things. So this is nice that they allowed the config menu. And when you're ready to get into BigBox or Launchbox, they have some shortcuts here. So this is going to open up your Launchbox version. They have 13.17 here. So this is again being able to get into Launchbox settings. Say if you're familiar with Launchbox, there's a lot of customization you can do with this as well. But you may want to mess with this because the Buy Stuff guys are going to send updates and rewrite their version of Launchbox on here. Alright, so we launched just their version of Launchbox using this setting here, so you can kind of see how they set everything up as well. Don't mess with any of this stuff. I just love showing off kind of and seeing what the guys have been doing on the back end of things. So I might mess around myself with this, but otherwise you don't need to get into here. But I just wanted to showcase that you can get into Launchbox. When you're ready to get back into your big box build, you can click on this little big box icon and then get back into big box. You can turn the config menu off for folks if you don't want anybody to mess around with stuff, and go from there. We're finally ready to look over our big box build together. You can see all the different playlists they have: Ridge Racer, Outrun, Fast and Furious, Mario Kart, Daytona, Arcade, Kids Racers, Crash and Burn, and a bunch of other custom playlists: kart racing, rally racing, motorbike racing, track racing, water racing, winter racing, street racing, and alternative racing. So I do like the custom categories. You know, maybe I'm not a huge fan of the logos and having them all look the same, but it's great that they have various ways you can organize your games. You can add games to the favorite section by holding down the X button over here where your old volume switch was. And now we're going to just do some demo gameplay from the various games and show you what the system can do. So quick final thoughts on this initial build setup. I am definitely impressed with the number of games that are running on this mini PC. The Teknoparrot library is fantastic. The fact that I was able to play Outrun and Batman and some of the other games on here are absolutely fantastic. Some of the PC games like the Ridge Racer Unbounded and Wreckfest, I'm just waiting to explore the rest of this library. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to set up an Outrun from scratch, as well as do the networking. I didn't get time to do that in this video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Give the Buy Stuff guys some time if some of the configurations aren't working 100%. The fact that they've dedicated a way to mass update these systems and give you updates along the way is probably one of the other big benefits of using this. Everything's not 100% plug and play, so you know, an emulation, nothing ever is. You might run into an issue where things are a little bit slow. I ran into an issue with Ridge Racer where I had to click the button to be able to load the game on a mouse. I think Mario Kart 8 had some issues when I was loading it up. So those are just a few of the things where, again, maybe you might find a game where it's not 100% working, but for the most part, a lot of these games are with that mini PC. So give it a try if you're interested in this build. If you want to ask more questions, let me know in the comments what you think. If you like this video, subscribe and check out the next video, because we're gonna finally get that link set up and gonna have some 2-player fun. Thanks for watching. See you later.